The information that just dropped about Tori Spelling and Dean McDermott's divorce is absolutely staggering. We're not talking about he said, she said drama or vague rumors here. We're talking about cold, hard, legal documents. An income and expense declaration filed by Dean McDermott himself has been made public, and it paints a picture of two people living in completely different financial universes, all while trying to navigate the end of a very, very public marriage. Forget the tabloid headlines for a second. This is the real, unglamorous, and frankly, kind of shocking reality of a Hollywood breakup. So what's the bombshell? Let's start with Tori's income, or at least what Dean alleges Tori's income is. According to these documents, her monthly earnings are, well, they're a roller coaster. He claims she makes anywhere between $3,000 and a whopping $75,000 a month. Let's just pause and absorb that for a second. That is not a typo. The range is from $3,000 to $75,000. That is one of the wildest income ranges I have ever heard of. What does that even mean? It tells me her income is entirely project-dependent. One month she could be landing a great gig, a reality show spot, a lucrative brand deal, and she's pulling in the equivalent of a fantastic annual salary in a single month. The next month, it could be crickets. $3,000 in California with 5 kids. That kind of financial instability would give anyone a panic attack. I don't care who you are. But that $75,000 figure, that's the number that sticks out, right? That's the Hollywood number. That's the number that makes you think, okay, she's doing just fine. It confirms that the potential to earn big is still there for her. But the low end of that spectrum, that $3,000, tells a completely different story. It tells the story of the hustle, the uncertainty of being an actor and a public figure in 2024. It's a feast or famine existence, and these court documents just laid it all out there for the world to see. It's not a steady paycheck from a 9 to 5, it's a constant grind, and the financial security is seemingly built on sand. Now hold that number in your head, that potential $75,000 a month, and let's pivot to what Dean McDermott says he's bringing to the table. This is where the story takes a nosedive from Hollywood Hills to, well, reality. Dean estimates his average monthly earnings to be around $3,800. $3,800. Let that sink in. He's not claiming a range. He's giving an average. $3,800 a month. Before taxes, mind you. In one of the most expensive states in the country. He's gone from being a working actor, the star of shows like Due South, to earning what a shift manager at a retail store might make. And where's this money coming from? Not from acting, not from producing. It's from his work as an alcohol and drug counselor. Now let me be crystal clear here, and this is my own take. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that job. In fact, it's an incredibly noble and important profession. Helping people through their darkest times is admirable, full stop. But in the context of this Hollywood divorce, the contrast is just jarring. It's a world away from red carpets and residual checks. And he even addresses this career change in the documents. He states, and I'm paraphrasing here, that he has earned zero income from acting and producing in the last year. Zero. He blames the SAG-AFTRA strikes and major changes in the industry. And he's not wrong about that. The strikes completely paralyzed Hollywood, and for a working actor like Dean, who might not be at the A-list level to command massive upfront salaries, that means the phone just stops ringing. The entire industry ground to a halt, and he's one of the casualties now laid bare in a legal filing. It's a stark reminder that for every Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, there are thousands of Dean McDermotts just trying to make it work. But the financial picture gets even bleaker. He also has to disclose the income of his live-in girlfriend, a woman named Lily Callow, and he notes that she earns roughly $600 a month. $600. And then he makes a point to add, and this is a direct quote, that her income does not contribute to the couple's living expenses.
I mean, that feels like a very specific, almost pointed thing to include in a legal document. It's like he's screaming to the court, "Look, I am on my own here. There is no safety net. This is all I have." The combined income of their household, based on these numbers, is around $4,400. Again, in California. That's barely scraping by. So we have this insane financial Grand Canyon between them. On one side, you have Tori, with the potential to make $75,000 in a good month. On the other, you have Dean, making a steady but incredibly modest $3,800. And this, of course, all ties into custody and child support, which is the whole point of these declarations. The documents state that Tori has their 4 minor children 90% of the time. 90%. Dean says he has visitation on the 1st, 3rd, and 5th weekends of each month, so he sees the kids, but she is clearly the primary caregiver, handling the day-to-day grind. When you combine her having the kids 90% of the time with that potential income disparity, you can see where this is all heading in a courtroom. But wait, because it gets so much worse. We've talked about income. Now we have to talk about the other side of the coin, debt. And Dean McDermott is drowning in it. He alleges that he is a staggering $215,700 in debt. Let's break that down because the details are what make this so visceral. The lion's share of this is a $200,000 loan from City National Bank that is in arrears. City National is often called the bank to the stars. It's where Hollywood money flows. Taking out a massive loan like that implies a time when things were good, when future income seemed certain. Now it's an anchor dragging him down. An overdue payment on a $200,000 loan is not a small problem. It's a financial catastrophe. But it's the smaller debts that almost feel more, well, relatable, more human. He lists $12,000 in credit card debt to Care Credit. For those who don't know, Care Credit is often used for medical and dental expenses that insurance doesn't cover. It's the credit card you use when you're in a bind. It's not for lavish shopping sprees, it's for necessities. And then he has another $2,500 in debt to Capital One, a standard credit card, probably used for gas, groceries, just day-to-day living when your income dries up. And then there's the one that really gets me, a $1,200 dental bill. A simple, nagging $1,200 bill for dental work. He notes that the last time he made a payment on it was back in March. This one little detail tells such a huge story. It's the kind of bill that so many people have, the kind you try to chip away at, $50 here, $100 there. The fact that a man who was once a television star has to list an overdue dental bill in his divorce proceedings is just, wow. It humanizes the whole messy situation in the way that the giant $200,000 loan almost can't. It's a symbol of just how far things have fallen, how tight money really is. He's not just Hollywood broke, where you have assets but no cash. This sounds like actual, real-world, can't pay the dentist broke. So you have this whole picture, right? A man with a new, noble, but low-paying job, a mountain of debt, a minimal role in his kids' daily lives, and an ex-wife whose income potential, at least on paper, absolutely dwarfs his own. You'd expect this to be a recipe for a bitter, nasty, drawn-out fight. You'd expect public trash-talking, accusations flying back and forth. This is the standard Hollywood divorce script. And that is where this story takes a hard left turn into genuinely surprising territory. Because despite all this financial turmoil and the end of their marriage in 2023, by all accounts, they seem to be okay with each other. They've both spoken about maintaining a healthy co-parenting relationship and even a supportive friendship. And look, a lot of celebrities say that. It's good PR. It's the conscious uncoupling playbook. But Dean actually put his money where his mouth was, so to speak. He publicly and very enthusiastically congratulated Tori when she was competing on Dancing with the Stars. Think about that. While he's preparing legal documents outlining his financial ruin, he's also taking the time to go on Instagram and cheer on the person he's divorcing. He posted a video, and the quote from the article is just incredible. He said, and I'm reading this directly, "Tori Spelling, you did an amazing job. I'm so proud of you. You put on 2 beautiful performances on Dancing with the Stars. I saw how hard you worked, and I know the injuries that you had that you worked through, and your dedication and your work ethic is amazing." Honestly, I'm genuinely impressed by that. I have to give him major props. That takes a level of maturity and grace that you just do not see in these kinds of public splits. He could be bitter, he could be resentful, he could be sitting there thinking she's out there on a major network TV show potentially earning that $75,000 while I'm filling out paperwork about my overdue dental bill. And maybe he does feel that way privately, who knows? But publicly, he chose to be her biggest cheerleader. He chose to support the mother of his children and praise her work ethic. That, to me, is the most fascinating part of this whole story. The finances are a train wreck, the debt is terrifying, the income disparity is a chasm. But the personal dynamic, at least the one they present to the world, seems to be one of mutual respect. It's a weirdly wholesome and positive twist in an otherwise grim financial tale. It shows that you can separate your personal feelings and your